Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm giving you my review of AEW's All Out event going down September 20th, 2025, just before WWE's WrestlePalooza in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Not much to say here. Pre-show wise, it's a pretty standard event for all Elite Wrestling here. Nothing too crazy, in the business aspect of anything. No big changes with companies or something like that. So let's just jump right into this, man. Opening match for this event was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage taking on FTR. This was a pretty solid match to start off things with. Some classic tag team work between the two teams. Stokely was interfering in the match throughout a lot of it. So Beth Phoenix, aka Beth Copeland, makes her debut here tonight to take out Stokely. Edge, Adam Edge Copeland would somehow go into like God mode with some of these moves he was taking here, because he would kick out of a spike pile driver and a shatter machine from FTR here. So okay, cool, this guy is fucking invincible apparently. Copeland would be hit with another shatter machine, but Christian would be able to get the distraction so that Copeland would be able to hit one spear on Cash Wheeler to win the match. One spear is all it took apparently. And yeah, they get the win here. Okay, cool. And then after the match, FTR would go on the attack of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage with distraction from Nick Wayne, Mother Wayne, and Kip Sabian. They would handcuff Copeland to the ropes, and they'd give a spike pile driver to both Christian, and then one to Beth Copeland as well. You know, big old heel stuff here. I'll be honest, I didn't really care for this. I still don't really feel a connection with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage here. I think Adam Copeland kicking out of a spike pile driver and shatter machine is very ridiculous. I don't think if the big thing to Christian and Beth was gonna be a spike pile driver, Edge should not have been hit with a spike pile driver in the match. Like, he kicked out of it. It was they hit Christian with a move that Edge kicked out of as the big heel thing at the end here, which is that makes it look a bit ridiculous in my opinion. I think it's also pretty silly they brought in Beth Phoenix on her debut just to be put into the Judgment Day rehashing angle, basically, where she was just the victim of Edge's opponents and a casualty in the entire thing. So now they had to extend the feud a bit longer. So I'm really excited for that. I guess. Yeah, not much to say. Pretty solid opener. Crowd was pretty into it. I don't really care where they go forward with this. It'll just be another standard Edge feud. So moving on, we have Big Bill calling out Eddie Kingston for a match here at All Out, which he does get a response from Eddie Kingston. He is here wearing a Claudio Sucks Egg shirt. He never dies. That's cool. Unfortunately, though, this match is pretty average. I think it was pretty poorly produced on the part of whoever was putting this match together. They started the match with Big Bill no-selling Eddie Kingston's chops, and then him hitting a big boot, which I think if you're gonna do something for a guy that's making his return, you at least give him a little bit of heat before Big Bill would start to take over here. At least that's how I would have booked it. And then throughout the entirety of the match, Big Bill's constantly working over Eddie here. He's getting barely any momentum in, until Eddie's able to hit a spinning back fist, to which Big Bill kicks out at 1. He kicked out at 1 and then stands up and is going, that's how tough I am. I can fucking withstand this move. He hits the big boot on Eddie again, and then he goes for it again in the corner, but then misses, and Eddie goes for a roll, which Big Bill kicks out of. And then Eddie hits the spinning back fist again, and this one, you hit it once, you get a 1 count. Hit it twice, and a minute later, you get a 3 counts. And yeah, Eddie Kingston gets the win here. Yeah, it was like a Dynamite collision ass match. It was just alright. I don't like the spinning back fist as a finisher. I really fucking don't like that match. That move as a finisher, dude, because it never looks like an actual finisher. It never does. And when you have a bad angle of it, which is really easy to get, of the spinning back fist, commentators will fucking fuck up a lot of times. Because in this match here, Eddie, he Big Bill kicks out of the roll of that Eddie hit. Eddie hits a spinning back fist, and then Tony Schiavone on commentary just goes, "Oh, he missed him." As Eddie Kingston goes in for the pin and gets the 3, and then they have to be "Oh no, I think he actually caught him on his jaw a little bit, so I think he actually did enough damage to get the 3 count." Dude, fucking stop with this finisher, man. It just makes everyone look like dumbasses that tries to watch it. And it's super confusing, and the crowd doesn't count at all because they don't bite on this being a finisher at all. And, like, it's just shit. It's just a shitty finisher. I'm sorry. It's just a shitty finisher. I know you like your 90s All Japan Wrestling, Eddie Kingston. I do too. But, like, you could at least have, like a backdrop suplex or something, man. Like, why does there be this shitty-ass backhand, spinning backhand? Anyway, another post-match beatdown is Brian Keith comes in to beat up Eddie some more until Hook comes in and makes the save. So I guess we'll get that tag team match later down the line. Hooray! Yeah, this match was mid. A match that was not mid, though, was Mark Briscoe versus MJF in a tables and tacks match. They've been feuding throughout the, like, what feels like the entire summer so far, so this seems to be, like, the big blow-off. And, you know, MJ portraying a lot more, like, white upperclassmanship, and then, you know, Mark Briscoe is the blue-collar workers, white-collar versus blue-collar, basically, seeing who's the better man, really. But this match is awesome. It's very simple, but it's put together really well. The way it starts off with is with Briscoe covering the ring in tacks, which makes every bump that they take going forward that way more impactful, and it leads to some really good moments and way more attention grabbing, and it's just still so simple, man. You could like they tease like a body slam, the first body slam onto the tacks, which is a really cool thing to do, because like yeah, it's just covered in tacks, man. Like it just makes sense. It was put together really well. The ring psychology was pretty awesome. And then MJF can do a lot more of his trickery as well, you know, just grabbing the tacks whenever he's getting down and throwing them in Mark Briscoe's eyes, which is really cool. So yeah, a lot of back bumps, a lot of splashes, things you'd expect with tacks on the mats, those kind of bumps that you'd expect them to take. These guys start bleeding an incredible amount of blood. Somehow MJF has a lot of blood in his crotch region, which I don't know if he just got a bad cut on the inside or he stuck Briscoe's head when going for like a pedigree move. And just a lot of blood smeared on the inside of MJF's crotch area, but he ended up with a lot of blood there. Mark Briscoe's caught up with a lot of blood. He has tacks in the back of his head, which look unbelievably nasty. But it is Mark Briscoe that's able to get a win with an elbow through a table covered in tacks, a few splashes onto the mat, and then also the J drill to get the win. Awesome match here. Very quick turnaround from MJF after coming off his loss to Mystico at CMLL's 92nd anniversary show. So really good work rate stuff from him. I do kind of question where he goes on from here. I don't think, like, you know, ever since he's come back from his post-world title reign injuries, I don't think he's been quite as an intriguing character as he was before he became world champion. So I'm not really, like, super interested to see what he does next. Like, I don't see, like, a direct path for him right now. I'm guessing, like, he'll tie things back up with the Hurt Syndicate, because that stuff kind of fizzled out a little bit, and, you know, we'll kind of get to, like, a reveal, like, MJF was behind Ricochet and them attacking the Hurt Syndicate this whole time, because he was being disrespected and all that, and then we get some kind of, like, match. I'll talk about that more about later in the next match, but, yeah, Mark Briscoe gets the win here. He's looking good. He's still got, like, you know, he's still got a high ceiling to climb to. He's an awesome competitor on here. He's really good. I'm glad they gave him such a big push. So, yeah, good for Mark Briscoe here. Up next, Ricochet and the DOA. The DOA? The GOA. I wrote the DOA. I think it's because I was thinking of them now being called the Demand. They are collectively known as the Demand. Taking on the Hurt Syndicate. This was a fine match. It's always fun watching Lashley and Shelton Benjamin throw guys around the ring, especially someone like Ricochet, who will not only be thrown around, but also have a lot of moments of his own high-flying brilliance added to it. So everything's fine with that there. My only problem with this match is just MVP. I don't like seeing him in the ring. I don't think he's at the level that every other one of these guys is at. You know, I think he is worse than like a Jeff Jarrett or a Dustin Rhodes in the ring. He's just super, super slow, and he holds the momentum that all these other guys, especially the guys in the Hurt Syndicate, have. He just sticks out like such a sore thumb, you know, when you see guys like Shelton Benjamin's double suplexing guys, and Lashley's just fucking gorilla pressing people outside the ring, and then MVP's just kind of there. Which, I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad member of the Hurt Syndicate. I'm just saying whenever he steps into the ring with the Hurt Syndicate, he can't keep up. He can't carry his own weight. So I'd like to see someone else be brought in for these 6-man tags, because I think that would make the match qualities themselves a lot better. But yeah, it was a pretty anticlimactic finish. The Demand was able to win after one of the Gates of Agony was able to take out MVP's knees and held MVP up as Ricochet hit his own reverse hidden blade. So yeah, it was fine. It was a fine match. It was fine. But now I think, yeah, now that they've had the 6-man tag, I don't know how they elevate this to a higher, like, more intense, high stakes match. I think that bringing MJF back would make more sense, and then they add a member of the Hurt Syndicate so they can have 4-on-4 and like a fucking lights out match or something. I don't know. I don't know where they go from here on out, but we'll see. We'll see. Up next, Mercedes Moné versus Riho. Mercedes Moné is defending her TBS championship here. This match is super fun. This is a really good match here. It's super high paced from the start. It's very Joshi-like. If you were to just try to isolate all the highlights you can from this match, you'll end up with like a very long video because there's like 25 spots here. You could just individually take it on their own and they would look super, super cool. Yeah, so very spot heavy, very high pace. It would really fit in the climax of like a Stardom ring. Genuinely, I love when Mercedes Moné puts on these kind of matches because she fits the mold so well, and I want to see her back in like a Joshi promotion because she would just fit in amazingly well there. So that's what really gonna say for her. The story here is that Rio is constantly getting the better of Mercedes, so she ends up resorting to cheap tactics to getting the referee distracted, and then raking Rio's eyes and getting in her finisher for the win here. Fun match, pretty awesome stuff. And yeah, I guess I'm still debating if I like the fact that Mercedes is still like kind of just cheating her way through this title reign. I think, you know, if you're someone like Mercedes Moné, if you're carrying 8 belts, I feel like, you know, you should be presented a little bit stronger than that. I don't know, man. Like, Roman had 3 belts, and he was still like getting like constant outside interference help from all his matches. So maybe that's a bit hypocritical of me to say, but I would like to see Mercedes just win a few more of her matches clean, because I think if you're holding 8 belts, I think, you know, you should be able to, like, you know, you should really win these matches clean, or not, or just keep doing this. It doesn't matter. The matches are all still great. This is a good match too, so I have no problems with it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Moving on from that match, we have Kazuchika Okada defending his AEW Unified Championship against Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. I don't have much to say about this match other than that it was simply incredible. You know, it's 2 Japanese guys and a luchador in a match where they just do all the best things they fucking can. Master Dorada is such a cool wild card here for the move, because like he's constantly being undermined by Takeshita and Okada, who are just trying to prove themselves as the bigger, better guy here. So him constantly getting in the way of both those guys, like kind of getting to each other, is really awesome. And of course, he's doing all his good lucha things here as well. And then of course, Takeshita and Okada are doing the best they can here. Just like it looked like the Okada of old, I'd almost say. You know, like this. Not to say he's like, you know, doing bad these days, but wow, what a performance from both of these guys, man! It just goes to show you how good of a wrestler Takeshita can be. Still bringing out the best in all the guys he wrestles with here. So love this match a lot. I do think I'm glad he didn't take the pinfall loss, because I think it would be a bit ridiculous to have the G1 Climax winner immediately take a loss here. So I don't know where they go forward here with this. I don't like Okada just isn't being given much of like programs or feuds here. He's just kind of gets given dudes. That's kind of been his entire AEW run. Is he just keeps getting given guys to wrestle, and he beats them all. So like I don't. There's no way for him like really connect with the audience for people to go like, wow, dude, like outside of like buying pay-per-views, like outside of the pay-per-views obviously, right? But like when you watch him on regular TV, there isn't much to really like make you connect with Okada themselves. So I think they still need to figure out a way to do that, and that would be by like giving him an actual program, an actual feud over the Unified Championship, which would be like a multi-month like couple matches type of feud. So I'd hope to see that in the future. But this match was incredible. You know, anybody that actually watches the AEW pay-per-view shows, they know Okada. They know this guy's great. You know, there's just no denying it. Up next, we have Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in a coffin match. This one was pretty short, but also pretty brutal. They did a bunch of horrible bumps onto the coffin that just really, really has to suck. Like, taking a bump onto the coffin looked horrible. Allin was trying his best to legitimately cut Moxley open, like, seemingly really biting his ear and then seemingly really stabbing him in the head with a fork. So if you want to see that, you can. Yeah, it's just guys. I don't know if there was time constraints for this match, but they were just really trying to get their shit in as quick as they could here, because in the end it was Pac that made his return. Short hair in clothing for some reason. I couldn't believe it. I don't think we've never seen Pac with short hair in his entire career. So seeing this was like a fucking, I was shell shocked seeing this, dude. He himself nearly killed Darby with a Rage's Edge to the outside of the ring onto a coffin, which I don't know how. I don't know how you willingly take some of these, man. Darby Allin is crazy. He is nuts. But yeah, he gets put in a body bag, and then they put him in a coffin for the win. Jon Moxley wins here. I mean, that's a fine outcome. The match was fun. It was pretty cool. It was a really good match here for as short as it was. They did a lot of stuff. But I think a win for Darby Allin here would have done a lot more for him. I think it would have been something that would have like more fit the story and progressing it a bit farther, and the justification for pushing it a bit farther here. I just don't see what a win for Jon Moxley does at this point, you know, like, because now Darby is going to just be, just chasing that win again. So, you know, I don't know what he's going to do here. I don't know how they go forward with this at all in a way that, you know, kind of makes sense, really. So, again, we'll just have to see, I guess. Up next, Toni Storm defends her AEW Women's World Championship against Kris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, and Thekla. Three of, like, this match is full of, like, all my favorite women's wrestlers from the show. If they just put Willow Nightingale in here, this would have been fucking, like, chef kiss here, bro. But, this match was fine. They didn't really put a lot of effort into producing it, I don't think. Nothing really big happened throughout it. Everyone just kind of did their moves for the most of it, which, you know, it was okay. It was fine. It was fun Fatal 4-Way shenanigan stuff. But what was really interesting was, in the end, how Kris Statlander won with a seatbelt pin to become the new world champion, bro. I have been fucking manifesting this. For 2 years, I've been waiting for this moment that Kris Statlander finally becomes world champion, and she fucking has it now, dude. I could not be happier for her. She deserves a chance afterwards, and she totally does fucking deserve it, because she's awesome. So now I am very intrigued to see where they go with her from here on out, because, you know, she was teasing, like, you know, she was having her teases with Wheeler Yuta trying to give her advice, and now that she's actually won with a move that Wheeler Yuta is very famous for using, we're obviously going to build more on that. It's either that she does end up joining the Death Riders, which I don't know if I really want. Like, we don't need another member for the Death Riders here, but if she does break away, just become like her own woman, that would be awesome as well. For some reason, she's still hanging out with Harley Cameron, so that's cool, I guess. But yeah, man, great outcome. It never really seemed to be about the match. It was just about the outcome, and I'm all for it, man, because crowd was shocked. Crowd loves it. I love it. I'm excited to see where Statlander goes on from here. She's already getting plans to defend her title this Wednesday, so that's exciting. She's gonna be one of those defending champions, which is awesome because she's great. Like, she's just great, dude. She's come such a long way from when she started in AEW to become one of the best women's wrestlers on that roster. So really, really, really happy for her here. In our co-main event, we have the team of Bro Dito versus the team of the Young Bucks versus the team of the Don Callis family versus the team of Jet Speed in a fatal 4-way ladder match for the tag team championships. Holy shit, dude. Just like every other tag team ladder match this year, spot fest galore, man. This was unbelievable stuff. Everyone's throwing diving elbows through tables. They're putting each other through ladders. They're landing each other, jumping off ladders, jumping off the top rope. It's fucking pandemonium over here. They pick up the ladder with Kevin Knight on it, and they throw his ass through a couple tables to the outside. Shit's great, man. And then, not much else to say. It's just fucking move. It's awesome stuff. It's awesome stuff here. But in the end, it was Brodito. Bandito fucking had the ladder, and he did like the goddamn the Johnny Nitro WrestleMania 24 spot where he did a fucking what movie? A moonsault off the fucking post to the outside, landing on Hechicero and Josh Alexander, which had to fucking suck, man. That move probably sucks taking, dude. Probably sucks for Bandito too, like he's fucking getting his arms caught in the ladder. But in the end, it was enough for Brodito to retain the titles. A great match here, man. I love this. Again, it's just the easiest watch ever. I love watching multi-tag team ladder match wrestling, dude. It's fantastic. This was a fantastic match. In the end, after all the commotion, they all left. Young Bucks were in the ring. And then sneaks in Jack Perry. Just out of fucking nowhere. So I was like, oh, okay, that's Jack Perry. And, Young Bucks kind of argue with him, asking where he's been and all that. Jack Perry then attacks both the Young Bucks, who then kind of proceed to beat him up before the lights go out. And they play this video of Jack Perry resurrecting, digging up the casket, and then resurrecting Luchasaurus, who is there when the lights go back up. He cleans house of the Young Bucks, and we seemingly have a Jurassic Express reunion. This is fucking ridiculous, man. This is so goofy. I think it's way more goofier than like they wanted it to be. Cause like, what the fuck you mean you're resurrecting Luchasaurus? I just saw him on Wednesday trying to qualify for this match, and here he is being fucking brought back to life. What the fuck, dude? Aside from that, though, I don't know how excited I am for this. I still kind of like. I do think Jack Perry is a cooler character than a lot of people give him credit for. I think he was just a bit over pushed. Probably is what I would say. I think he should have been a lot more of a fall guy than he actually turned out to be in their initial run as the Elite, back in 2024. So I'm curious to see how it goes, man. How like the crowd seems to really want to embrace Jurassic Express already, so that's cool. But I think I don't know, man. I'm conflicted. We'll see. I was obviously gonna feud with the Young Bucks first, so we'll get some good matches out of that for sure. But we'll see how this goes down the line and what how Jack Perry's able to present himself on TV. How they end up presenting himself if Jack Perry shaves goes back to clean shaven, babyface Jungle Boy once again. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Really important for Jungle Boy, being like kind of like the last, like the least important pillar now. Now that he's back, he can go to Sammy Guevara. Finally, we get to the main event of the show. Hangman Page versus defending his AEW Men's World Championship against Kyle Fletcher. This match is fantastic. I have almost nothing else to say except this match is unbelievably great. Hangman Page has had the story of just, through sheer willpower being able to defend his title when like the greatest odds are against him, like against the numbers games of the Death Riders and all the shenanigans of MJF. The way he got through it here was just the fact the adversity he had to face here was that Kyle Fletcher is just so good, and that's an awesome way to present new characters that's like push them to the main event spot is by having really close, great matches with your world champions. Imagine fucking that. Imagine that. How insane that is as of a concept, and how some promotions can't get that right. But yeah, Kyle Fletcher looked like $1 million here. Right on the same level as Hangman Adam Page, and that whole story of, him not being ready for a World Championship match. Obviously, he went out and proved himself as being ready to become World Champion, but it was not for this time. Hangman Page gets the buckshot lariat off in the end to win. And you know what? Kyle Fletcher also proved himself in other ways, because this guy was fucking willing to take like 1 million bumps to the top of his head. He just like throw this entire match or something, dude. Because he takes the fucking I don't know what the move is that Hangman Page calls, like the reverse tombstone, like through the table, which again he landed directly on his head, and then he took it again from the top rope to the middle of the ring, which he just barely got enough rotation so that he'd land on his shoulders, dude. Fucking gnarly stuff here. But yeah, this match was awesome. Went like almost 40 minutes again. Which, it's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that, because the match itself was actually so compelling, and it did feel, like, worthy of, like, that much time. But, like, god damn, bro, this pay-per-view was 5 hours long. I'm just not trying to watch this shit that long, man. Like, this kind of stuff happens. You wonder why your crowd is dead for, like, the majority of the show. Crowd was not very much dead for this match, by the way, so that was cool. But, yeah. Still, regardless of all that, this match is awesome. This match is fantastic. I love it. This show was really good, actually. I really liked this show a lot. Easily better than WrestlePalooza, man. Like, not to say like it was like I was like bored watching Palooza after this, but god damn, bro, there's a lot of good wrestling on this show here. There's a lot. I'm curious to see the directions they go in after this, because I think there is like there's some potential for it to get a little bit worse here with some of these stories. Like, again, I'm worried for MJF. I'm worried for how the Hurt Business goes ahead. I'm worried for how Okada gets presented. I'm worried for the Death Riders being an over pushing thing again. But aside from that, I think there's a lot of good stuff here, honestly. But there's a lot of good stuff to like still. There's a lot of good stuff that's still be coming out of this pay per view as well. Obviously, I think they need to. I think they need to focus a bit more on the titles because there's a lot of matches from here that were just like qualifiers matches for the titles and stuff. So there really wasn't a lot of story behind why people wanted the championships aside from just like they were winning matches. There really wasn't a lot of like, you know, personal like heat between the two guys in title matches specifically. But you know, it's just one of those things. So yeah, this is good. It was awesome. Like I can't say enough. The show was really really good. In a nutshell, on its own, isolated, this was a really really good show, and I'm excited to see where they go on from here at Wrestle Dream. So yeah, man, that's gonna do it for me. That is my review of AEW All Out. Here is a playlist of all my other wrestling reactions. You can watch me talk about WWE's WrestlePalooza here, as well as a video that YouTube thinks you will like, and then a subscribe button right here. So be sure to do all of that. Leave a comment if you what your thoughts and opinions were of the show itself. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.